We haven't really ever seen anything like the internet. And I think that the amount of change, like you're already seeing all this social change happening, but I think that like social media websites like Twitter and Facebook are like a symptom of the overall transformative effect of the internet. The internet is creating a whole new generation of people with completely different ways of thinking and ways of connecting.
You're spreading out your horizons of quantity and the possibilities available to you. That is a distinct gain, but the trade-off is that the quality of the contacts becomes more shallow.
People who are a little bit older probably take issue with is the fact that you don't use grammar really effectively when you text.
That is to say, they will fall prey to this cut-down form of communication and say, oh, by texting in some kind of highly abbreviated form of English where single letters represent whole words and things like that, I can now be in touch with 4 times as many people. This is an unmitigated good and my life is richer. Then that's a big mistake.
You can figure it out contextually when you use just these like one little sentence chunks. And I think that might be changing the way that we think. You're not thinking about like how to construct a sentence and how to encapsulate everything that you mean to say in these little units, and that changes the way that you think about what your message is, because it's like when you're online texting, you take that whole paragraph and condense it down into something that you can type out really quickly, and usually you can figure out how to do it so that it just comes across. We will definitely be seeing this kind of technology integrated more, like iPhones, which are basically, you can carry the internet around with you. We're becoming like more independent of like that guy in a cave in a room, like typing away. And it's getting integrated more into like our day-to-day life as we walk around. It's inevitable that it's going to happen more and more. And I think that this Middle East thing is a perfect example, because this social media stuff and the ability to see the way that the West lives is making these, these people in the Middle East more impatient. Seeing that like that things can change at a much faster pace because of the pace of ideas that flip through their heads online when they're surfing the internet. They've seen this freedom of speech and the way that people live in the West. I think that it's transformed what they expect. They don't expect to be sitting there for a generation in order to see change. They want it immediately.
It seems clear that these tendencies, these trends, is far too widespread of our culture to just disappear. People will recognize its benefits and its limits. And so it will continue to be used where it's advantageous. We're talking about the digital world. Talking to somebody is analog. All of these other communication avenues are digital.
A lot of people who like to complain about like the internet and Twitter and Facebook being these superficial kind of like pointless forms of communication where people can only talk about like fashion or whatever, like pointless things that don't really matter very much. But I can't see why having more information available quicker and faster is a bad thing.